garnering quite the crowd here. Well, good morning. It appears the breakfast crowd is getting impatient with me. They're ready to eat, but it is a good morning. It's kind of foggy, kind of muddy and wet. We got some rain overnight, but overall, not too bad. Not terribly cold, so we'll get these ladies fed, get everybody else fed, and get some stuff done like we always do. Well, good morning, beautiful. You ready for your bottle? She is absolutely ready. On these weekends when I don't get quite as early of a start, she's the one I feel the worst about because like the horses, they just, we feed them hay a couple times a day, but they really only get grain once a day. Cows only get grain once a day, so they're eating an hour or two later than normal, not a big deal. But for her, I feel a little bad, so yeah, need to put down the camera and get this bottle set up for her. There we go. Hey, brown dog, you're now trapped in there with her. Come on, Brownie. Brownie, come on. Come on out. Brownie, come on out. See, we got that big black cow there rubbing her neck, scratching. Seeing more and more of that. Not really seeing, a lot of hair loss, which now look, there's two of them simultaneously scratching in the same manner on those pecan trees. But gonna probably go ahead and need to treat them for lice. It's kind of a rule of thumb with lice. Once you start seeing them doing that, you probably ought to go ahead and treat. Once you get to warm weather, they're usually not an issue at all, but they're easy to get rid of. I went ahead and ordered some pour-on dewormer a couple of days ago, so that'll probably be a project for the next week or so. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it rained more than I kind of initially had hoped or thought. You see water standing in spots. We've got to get the tractor out and fill up the hay feeders this afternoon, but probably gonna wait until then to do so. Just try to let it drop a bit. We actually unrolled 2 rolls of hay yesterday. You may can kind of appreciate a little right here on this hillside. They have not really cleaned that up. And I noticed before I even got out of the house this morning, they were all still picking around, so they know there's still hay to eat in those spots. So the ongoing, experiment of feeding the hay up by unrolling it versus feeding it in the feeders is ongoing, and we're continuing to, kind of adapt and adjust how we do it. But we like unrolling it whenever they don't have any other hay available to them, because then they really have to clean it up. I don't think they're wasting too much when it comes to that. These boys are hungry. They're all waiting for food. We don't find them like that too often. They're usually, I was hanging out a box of trapping supplies. I was trying to clean out my office yesterday. This little boy over here, just chilling. Everybody else out there. But yeah, I was cleaning out my office and I was like, yeah, clearly I don't do much trapping, because that's a box of materials I bought 2 or 3 years ago. It's just been sitting there in the same spot, so I'm gonna put it in a little storage room there. But yeah, y'all pretty well cleaned it up. Let's get y'all some more feed. But as we continue the ongoing debate, I don't know if we're gonna have a single video till spring where we don't talk about, the unrolling versus the feeding and the hay feeders. But it kind of reminded me, because of course, when you're feeding the hay feeders, whatever they're wasting, it's left right there in kind of one pile, all concentrated. Just to look at it, looks like, man, that's a lot of waste. You're all right there in one spot. Of course, when you unroll it, who knows if it's more waste or not, but it's more spread out, which goes back to, it's really not totally waste, because that does benefit the soil, whatnot. But it reminded me, when I was in vet school, we had a professor that we were talking about, or we were doing a lab or whatever, passing a nasogastric tube on a horse. So for those of you that have never treated a horse for colic or seen it done, pass a tube up the nose, down into the stomach, way you can get fluid off, put oil in, whatever. Not something I've done since I was in school, thankfully. But oftentimes when you're doing that, you can make their nose bleed. And of course, I mean, you got a 1,000-pound animal, they can bleed a lot, and it's really not a lot. But he said, if you ever do that, always start walking the horse. Or have the owner walk the horse if you're out on their farm, or if you got an assistant, or in the case of the school, make the student start walking the horse. And you know, somebody asked, like, well, you know, what does that do? Does that help, you know, with the blood pressure or anything to make them stop bleeding? He said, no, it doesn't do anything. It's just, it looks a whole lot worse when they stand there and bleed in one spot than if you're walking them in a big circle and they're bleeding and they're spreading out. So, of course, he was kind of joking, trying to be funny. But yeah, it may be the same thing. It's the waste is just more spread out, but too, that is the benefit of it, spreading that out, getting that benefit. Look over here, had this spot in this pen where it was washing. What are you doing, dude? You're not gonna try to escape on me there, are you? We've been throwing a bunch of old net wrap and all kinds of stuff in that gully. I ought to walk over there. Test out these new high seas, which, like I told you on the last video, if you would like a pair, and I don't have anything but good things to say about them, go to highsea.com. At checkout, use the discount code Hurricane, 15% off. But yeah, I think their claim is warm and dry. It has not been too cold, but I've certainly still been warm. I've absolutely still been dry. And yeah, out here, I may watch, because my limitation may be how tall they are. But they're comfortable too. I kind of bought this pair, which is the upgraded rain boot, because they looked very comfortable, almost like tennis shoes. Why would you step down in there, dude? Yeah, it's a problem. Eventually, we're gonna have to probably redo this, whether it's, I don't know, we're gonna lose that post at some point. These boys are rough on things when they're pinned up here for these last few months of their lives. Eating, I'm sure they get a little bored. They want to push on the fence. You can see where it's bowed out in spots, whatnot. But go on over there and eat your breakfast. But yeah, nothing but good things to say about the boots. Comfortable, dry for sure, and it's been a little cooler these last couple of days, where I can say I think they keep you warm as well. Got them all fed. They seem to be pretty content. Calves are all up there at the other end. Try to get a shot of them for you here in a minute. Get the bulls fed, and then we'll be done with all the morning feeding here at home. Oh, too, you see, not wearing a cowboy hat today. I want to wear the cap as I remind you to go to hurricanecreek.farm and get you a hat. Free shipping. But boys, y'all ready to be fed? Silly question, I know y'all are. Watch out, buddy. Watch out, buddy. Oh, that got me. Okay, so that's everybody. Try to do one more like checklist in my head. Yeah, everybody here at home has been fed. Calves up the road, when we checked them yesterday afternoon, they still had plenty of hay. My plan is I'll take them some more hay today, but we'll probably wait and go check them this afternoon, because we go this morning. I just want to go once, take them a couple of rolls with the truck. If we go right now, I know they've still got hay there to eat, so we'll give them all day to clean as much of that up as possible before we take them a couple of new rolls. Been kind of doing the math on how much hay they've eaten over these last couple of weeks, since we've had everybody kind of on full hay ration. We pulled the cows off that stockpile grass. Like we got enough hay to make it to the end of March at the current rate at which they're eating. Last year I went back and looked, we quit feeding hay. It was about the 20th or so of March. We turned them out on fescue. So yeah, sounds like, oh, well, we got that nailed. Well, cutting it close. That's assuming that them eating more hay, you know, does not become a thing, you know, and they get to doing that. Too, that assumes we don't have, you know, some nasty winter weather right there kind of in March, like we are prone to do, that could delay that turnout on pastures. but we'll see. We should be able to get our hands on some more hay, I think, if you know, if we were to run out. But part of it is just, I just want to be fully self-sustaining. You know, now and going forward, we're able to put up all of our own hay. Not too proud to certainly go and buy something if we need to, but anyway, we're gonna see. It's already 8 o'clock. Go drink some coffee and have some breakfast with the family, I believe. I don't know if they're gonna do it for the camera now, but kind of impressed. This 147 cow is the one that had a little Brahma cross calf on Christmas Eve. So calved not even quite a month ago. She's apparently back in heat. So these other cows pestering her, trying to ride her. White-faced cow specifically. But that's pretty good. We don't want her bred back right now, and obviously, I mean, contrary to what you may see in some media forms and whatnot, that other female cow's not gonna be able to breed her. Well, now they're wanting to ride the black white-faced cow, which she should be bred. So I don't know. I was gonna say, kind of impressed. Her cycling back that quickly. We like that because, let's say if she had calved one of the late ones calving in spring, sometimes it's a little trickier for them to have time to get bred back, you know, to hit your calving window again for the next year. There's our calves. We like to give you all the cute calf shots. 2 of them, and then there's the other 2 right up there at the lick wheel. Well, fast forward, it's now kind of mid-afternoon. Just a cold, slightly windy, just unpleasant day. I think like in the mid-40s, which isn't terribly cold. It's probably actually pretty normal for this time of year, but cooler than it has been. They're getting impatient. They want to be fed. We had unrolled a second roll of hay yesterday over here on this hillside, which we hadn't unrolled one right there previously. They're still picking around over there some, but for the most part, they're out of hay and they want to be fed. So we're gonna go ahead and put out some hay here, then run up the road. Take some hay to those other calves as well. Now comes the trick of will the cows stay in, because it's really a pain in the butt to have to, I need to lift that up, get out, close the gate behind me, then when I come back, open it up again. But yeah, we've already got a couple that are gonna get out. Oh my goodness. I sure got the tractor out of gear. That was the problem with the gate being here. Used to, it was up there at the arena where that gate still is, but it just doesn't work quite as well. I may. You know, my last video, I did the opposite. I think I'm gonna do something in the last video. Just leave the gate as is. These cows should all follow me because they want this hay. That one right there is just hanging out. That's fine, we'll get her back in. I'd rather have to just worry about getting one back in. I have to worry about getting 41 back in. We'll see if the rest of them will follow us. Yeah, kind of wishing I'd gone ahead and put out hay yesterday with the tractor before we got this rain. Knew there was a chance of rain, but the forecast I had seen said that it'd just be real light and scattered, and I don't know. Got all my rain gauges flipped over so they don't freeze, but I feel like we got more than they were saying we were gonna get. And it looks like our cow that had gotten out may have gotten back in, which I just pushed the gate shut, didn't latch it. She may have been smart enough, she pushed it open, I don't know. That or that's a different black white-faced cow, but we'll know here in about 20 seconds. Now mystery solved. Actually, the family, they're getting ready to ride. I forgot that. So they're over there messing around with the horses, and so what happened was they saw the cows clearly where she wasn't supposed to be, and they let her back in. So there you go. Got the truck warming up. We're gonna go ahead and take 2 of those rolls to the calves down the road. Got 2 more staged and ready because things go like I expect. Won't necessarily have to crank the tractor till closer to the end of the week. But we'll need to take hay to them before we'll need to get the tractor running again. Got another one staged there, which we can back up any of those when they're stacked like that to use the unroller. I'm figuring Wednesday, I hope I can make it to Thursday morning. We'll probably unroll one, but yeah, starting to put a pretty big dent in the haystack. The hay was stacked all the way out to right here, and now we're well on back in there. My plan is we'll, of course, can't get to those bales really because of the baler. Probably here in the next couple of weeks, bring that 40-30 up here, hook on to the baler, pull it out, and we can get that hay out of here. Then back it back in with the baler and that tractor, and then we'll have it where we can get to everything. But yeah, I don't know. It's getting to be that time of year where the hay supplies are getting a little shorter, haystacks are getting smaller, but we'll either have enough to get us through or we won't. If we won't, we'll find some more. But the truck should be warmed up. Let's get these bales loaded and head up the road. I'm garnering quite the crowd here. But came down here yesterday about midday, and it was right at noon actually, after our basketball games were over with, and we checked on these rolls of hay. They still had a little left. They still have a little left, so I'm proud. What I mainly want to do is see, is it smart at all for me to try to drive the truck kind of on this hillside? We were wanting to feed here. There's a couple of bad spots where it's washing. Thinking what I'm going to do. Yeah, I hate to drop another roll. Yeah, I probably could have waited and brought that hay down here in the morning. Decisions. I don't know, I'll have to decide. I think I can drive around up there, stay on top of the ridge, maybe back down and put another roll over there. Just rather than feed up here in the tree line where you're really not benefiting the ground any by adding this into it. You can do it more down here. But yeah, I really didn't expect to find that they had that much hay left. So we're gonna leave at least one roll for them. I may actually take the other one back home and just leave it on the back of the truck. We just don't have the luxury of wasting hay. And if I pull that ring off of there to put it on another roll, they're gonna bed down on all that and they're pretty much gonna be done eating it. I don't know, I got a minute or two to think while I walk back up here. But yeah, mainly I was walking out here just to see how muddy it was. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's a little more dangerous with the gate here than at home because that is a state highway right there. So we gotta be sure. At home, if one goes out through the gate and ends up in the barn lot, it's not a big deal. If they go out this gate, we're in trouble. But now, I think too, I'll pull down here and go ahead and just give them a few buckets of feed while we still kind of contemplate what we're gonna do with the hay. Morons did the same thing they did the other day, which maybe you could call me a moron for not anticipating it, but when I go to bang on the bin there to get the feed to shake down, they panic. They jumped over the trough, flipped it over. Just idiots. So let's see, they probably got 3/4 of a bucket of feed that they spilled here. Morons. Oh yeah. See there, most of what I dumped in that trough right there on the ground now. They've heard me bang on a feed bin, I mean, just about daily. For some reason, the last 2 days, which again, maybe I should have anticipated because they did the same thing yesterday, except they didn't flip the trough over yesterday. They just jumped and spooked. But anyway, I think I've decided what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and put the one roll over here on the hillside. Got truck in 4-wheel drive, got the hubs locked. I think I'm gonna go out there. We've unrolled a couple of rolls using the bale bed in the past, you know, over the month or so. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just doesn't make any sense to take that roll back home. My time is valuable to me. We're already down here doing this. That way, we'll have another That'll give us another couple of days longer before we have to bring hay back down here again. Just hope we don't get stuck. It's obviously gonna be pretty muddy right here where there's all their foot traffic. And I might try to just kind of pull down here like this and stay out of the muck and mud that they've created over there. But set one roll out. Yeah, I don't know. Looks of things, it's pretty muddy. Kind of stay on the side of this hill. See if that'd help us out. But we'll go ahead and get off there, undone. And yeah, once I get back up there on top of the ridge, I should be fine to take off out through there. Just unroll that one. Wasn't my original plan, but that'll work. As you may be able to appreciate, we don't grow, and just the grass just isn't nearly as good right here as it is just over there. This ground's just a little poor, whatever. So it's a good spot to be doing some of this feeding and try to, you know, improve the soil quality and grass quality and whatnot. But we're gonna see if we can do that. I'll push that roll back just a little bit. Get those centered right there and make it unroll properly. Got that unrolled look. That's what I wanted to say. Rather than come on out here and eat this hay up first before they go back to working on the what's in the feeders. But it's not the first unrolled hay they've ever eaten, and not the first hay I've unrolled out here, but it's the first hay that I've unrolled for this group on this farm. They, it's been 2.5, 3 weeks so since we moved them down here. But anyway, they oh yeah, they can check it out like, oh my God, it's hay, even though they weren't out to begin with. But that core there, try to get it to unroll a little more. Whatever, they're gonna eat it whether it does or doesn't. But I would say the shadows are getting long, but there hasn't been enough sun to have shadows today, period. But it's nearly 4 o'clock. Got about another hour and a half of daylight left. But it's probably gonna about wrap it up for us. We're gonna get home, feed the bottle calf, feed the feeder steers, a couple of those mundane chores. But as always, you know, we appreciate y'all watching. Again, go to highc.com, discount code hurricane, just hurricane, discount code hurricane. Almost messed up there. 15% off, boom, solid pair of boots. Go to hurricanecreek.farm, get you a hat. I'm pretty sure we do have this color combination still available, along with a few others. But we appreciate y'all watching. Maybe the sun will be shining a little better the next time we film for y'all. But we appreciate it, we appreciate it, we appreciate it. Can't say that enough. As always, remind y'all, eat beef and God bless.